सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तपोभिक्षीण पापानां शान्तानां वीतरागिणां मुमुक्षूणामपेक्षोऽयम् आत्मबोधो विधीयते। पेज 75, श्लोका नंबर 28। ātmāvabhāsayatyekah buddhyādīnīndriyāṇyapi dīpo ghaṭādivatsvātmā jaḍaistairnāvabhāsyate। Yesterday we saw Rajju sarpavadatmanam jivam jnātvā bhayam vaheti paramatmeti jnātah chet nirbhayah bhavet. Wherever there is the limitation experienced, that limitation in itself is the papa, and wherever there is that primordial papa, it is going to express as the tapa of bhaya. And that is why in our vocabulary we use, in Telugu especially, tapatraya. When somebody is worried, we say, do not have tapatraya. Tapatraya padapa. Tapa is the effect. And what is the cause? The cause is there is a delusional experience. Vedanta is good for delusional perception to be removed. Meaning there is a substratum on which you have superimposed something. That superimposition can be removed through Vedanta, Vedantic understanding. If there is no substratum and you have projected something, that is not called delusion, it is called hallucination. You have to go a couple of stops from here there used to be an institution. That will be a solution for it. Delusion is where there is a substratum, and on that substratum where there is a superimposition because of there is a avarana and then there is a vikshepa. Avarana causes the avidya because it is covered, and then we start projection, and these projections that we project, it could be various things. In Vedanta Panchadashi, Vidyāranya Swamiji seems to have quite a sense of humor. He says, a crack because of the dryness of the weather, a crack in the soil can appear like a snake, a stick can appear like a snake, a rope can appear a snake. Too much of Vedantic listening, a snake therefore can appear like a rope. His sense of humor is very subtle, very soft. There has to be a rope, and on that rope you are projecting. Therefore it is called delusion. It's a Brahma. When there is no rope and you still are projecting, you are imagining something, then there is something wrong in the upstairs. Serious problem. Uttar Pradesh, gadbad. This is also gadbad in the Uttar Pradesh, but then there is something on which you are projecting. There is a satyatva on which an avabhasa is satyavat bhati. A projection which is appearing like real for us. Wherever that is superimposed, Jivatvam becomes a reality. Jivatvam in itself means a limitation. And that limitation in itself is the cause for fear. Dvayat bhayam bhavati. Advaite nirbhayatvam eva. In Advaita there is nirbhayatvam only. I think a couple of days ago we had given this example and said, when we are alone in the room, we know that we are alone in the room, there is nobody else. Oh, but I am scared to be alone in the room. No, that fear of being alone in the room, you mean to say this entire place you are living alone? Yes. You are not afraid? No. What is the fear factor for? The fear factor is that what if? What if there is someone or something other than me, therefore I am scared? That otherness is what is the cause of fear. The otherness doesn't start from the outside. The otherness starts from the inside. The otherness that we perceive outside is only a projection. The inside starts from the limitation. And what is the limitation? That I am this limited entity called Jiva. Now, how does one define the jiva? There is this pure conscious principle. That pure conscious principle reflects into the subtlest of the medium called the buddhi. In that buddhi, there is a reflection. That reflection identifying itself with that buddhi now starts identifying with the mana. The mana then induces this reflected conscious principle into the organs of perception and action and extend our attachment through those to the world of things and beings. All of this put together is called jivatva. Conscious principle plus the subtlest buddhi plus the reflected consciousness plus all the other layers mentioned is jivatva. If you just say that it is a reflected consciousness, probably because the understanding in the student is expected when it is said that the jivatva is reflected consciousness, but what it means is all of these factors are included, not excluding of them. So that avarana is out of ignorance. And the moment there is that ignorance, there is this assumed reality. And Gaudapadacharya in his Karika says very beautifully, he says, I don't have to prove that the world exists not, this multitude exists not. Whoever is claiming that the world exists, it is for them to first prove that the world exists. Then we will see about the logic to do the khandana of it. All that which exists is only the Atma Chaitanya. The rest of it can exist only as an appearance to which we have given Satyatva Buddhi, a seeming sense of reality. A very, very hard concept to digest, to first grasp and then to digest it. You mean to say this, everything that I see, feel, perceive is only a projected reality? Now, why is it that difficult to grasp it when we have another substantial experience similar to this in our dream sleep? Deep sleep, there is no such. In the dream state, and ask this question to yourself. Is there a sequential order to the creation? That there was first the inanimate, then there is an animate, then there is me. All of this in a simultaneous spota, like a bang, appears. Where is it appearing? In my own mind. Depending on whatever I have carried forth, seen, unseen, experienced, unexperienced, projected, imagined, all of this, there is like a khichdi. And then I project it. When to explain this khichdi, I love the first time I heard Guruji this example, it was like etched in my memory. He says, when he was a brahmachari, he was coming back from his pravachan in a rickshaw, and because of people gathering, that small street opening into the main road, there was a clogging, and that was because there was a monkey show, literally monkey business. So there is a monkey and there is a madari who is controlling that monkey. There are some tricks. There is a monkey which is dressed as in a tuxedo or a suit, and then there is a monkey dressed in a nice girly clothes, and then the madari says, "Kyo Raju bhaiya? रानी से शादी करना है?" ऐसे फिर देरी काहे की? What is the delay? He puts his hands in the pant pockets, opens it, then the coat pocket, and pulls out, and he says, "अच्छा जेब खाली है? पैसे नहीं है तो लड़की कौन देगा? If you don't have money, who will give you the girl?" Now all these people who have gathered here, they will not give you money unless you impress them. Do you have anything to impress them? Then there is a trick show. He is wearing a cap. After the trick is done, he takes out the cap, and they will now create that empathy in that heart of everybody attending. Poor fellow has to get married. Pure monkey business. And therefore now they have to fill that hat. So he brings it all, there is a towel, throws everything in it, and says, "Do you think that is sufficient?" And again another trick, another round of cap, 2-3 such tricks. All this was observed by Guruji. And he went home, ate his food, slept. And in the dream world, he saw that there was a monkey wearing yellow clothes sitting in front of the mic, in front of the crowd, giving pravachan. And he himself was doing the tricks of the monkey. And that is so well described. It got etched on my memory. We literally do the same kind of monkey business. Assumed identities. Now all of this, people gathered, the monkey wala, the monkey, the pravachan, the environment. All of this is created in the mind, by the mind, for the mind, as the mind. And doing that monkey trick on a rope walk, tight rope walk, slips and falls from the bed onto the floor, only to realize, thank goodness, my job security continues. No monkey is snatching my business. So in that everything is projected, including the sense of me. But the moment I wake up, what happens to the entire created world, which appeared so real, so tangible? All this can be a reality only if it is in the projected state. नासतो विद्यते भावः न अभावो विद्यते सतः. That which is not real cannot exist. That which is real cannot cease to, it cannot cease to become non-existent. What happens in that dream state for this world of things that is so real to us? Completely gone. Even more so in our own deep sleep state. Deep sleep state, once you analyze, that is the most profound analysis. Okay, Swami, we will go into deep sleep state now. No, I am not talking of going into the deep sleep. Analysis of that state is the most profound one. Why? When I wake up from that deep sleep, I seem to remember that there was that absence of complete cessation of activities. As much as activities were being illumined, the absence of not just the activities but even the instrument of functioning, its absence is being illumined. Now, if in this room there was a camera, there is a camera. It is on and it is recording whatever is in front of it. In another 40 minutes, as soon as Shanti he is done, katak, 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 sound of all the chairs being collected. Tak, 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 everything goes onto the side. In next 5 minutes, this whole hall is emptied out. And if I forgot switching off the record and went away, what is it recording then? Absence of all of this is being still recorded. Isn't it? There is that conscious principle because of whose presence the absence is also being cognized. That is called deep sleep. Therefore, the rest of it, whether it is in the deep sleep, whether it is in the dream state, whether it is in the waking state, all of the above are being seemingly experienced only in the state of projection. Now, what do we call a person who has seen a snake? You are throwing light to show that it is a rope. Right? You are throwing light to see. You have lifted it with a stick first, then picked it up with your hand. Still sees it only as a snake, and you now are asking that individual to touch it, is scared, shivering. Why? Palm. Unless that vritti is removed, the reality is not perceived. We keep hearing that the abhasa satta is just a borrowed satyatva buddhi, and we can borrow it because there is a source, and that source is me. And yet, as soon as I step outside, what is the attitude or what is the satyatva buddhi with which we step outside? That all this which I have heard is okay, but now back to the reality. Even a realized one has to get back to the same world, but what is the standpoint or the platform from which they function? That the vyavahara is also mithya. It is just a mithya, meaning it doesn't mean non-existent. It means that it is like a drama. How much sense of reality do you give to a drama? You know what you are, but you have assumed a certain role, and then you jump in to play that role. As long as you are on that field of experience, of that field, the role is done. I don't know if you have ever been on a stage in a commercial sense. As soon as your role is done, you step outside, there is a fellow in charge. He has a list. He has a list of everything that was given to deck you up as that character. One by one, you have to check that list as you peel it off and give, and say that role is done. If that's all that is, you have a checklist. In this particular role I have executed that responsibility, done. All the makeup that has gone into, remove. Done. What do we do? We carry that role, we carry the impressions, we carry the entire makeup into the next environment. The earlier environment, you had an argument as a child, as a husband, as a wife, as a boss, as a subordinate. You had a very serious argument. The next environment is a birthday party. You enter into the birthday party with what makeup? The earlier frustration. ఏమండి కులాసేనా కులాసే. This is a happy environment. Why are you so grumpy? By mistake somebody asks, why are you grumpy? We will not stop. We will smear into that environment, into that crowd, our earlier makeup to upgrade them to my standard of frustration. And we keep on it constantly. I don't know what is happening to the world these days. It is such a mess. Vedantically they start expressing their personal makeup failure. Snakeness. That is why yesterday I corrected. When you said the famous example of, then you all said snake and the rope. No, it is not snake and the rope. It is the snake on the rope. If it is an example of snake and the rope, then you are talking of the Dvaita philosophy wherein snake also is real, rope also is real, then your troubles are also real. Your bhaya is also real. If Vedanta can very bravely, courageously offer nirbhayatvam, it is from what standpoint? It is from the standpoint of understanding that it is not snake and rope, it is snake on the rope. One is Satvastu, the other is the Asatvastu which is being projected. The moment I see that it is the Asatvastu, only when I have seen what is the Satvastu. The Asatyatva doesn't go in percentages. Earlier days when the computers were still starting and there was a dial-up connection and you had to download a photograph. Pixel by pixel, line by line it would download. And sometimes it would get stuck at a certain stage. And not everybody had a computer at home. So we would go to a computer center, take a half an hour slot. 25 minutes done, it is only 3/4 downloaded. 5 more minutes. It is not downloading. So you quickly go and say, extend another 10 minutes. No, there is only slots of half an hour. Grumblingly say, okay, another half an hour. And then you keep on waiting. The snakeness doesn't go away in these kinds of partialities. I did 1 day of sadhana, 5% of snakeness gone. 20 years of sadhana, 18% of snakeness gone. A lifetime worth 40-50 years of sadhana, 98% of snakeness is gone. Tupuk, this life done. You are born again to remove that 2%. No, aisa nahi hota. That's a wrong understanding. Either you are realized or you are not. Either it is complete zero or full 100%. There is no intermediary evolution of sadhakatva. Panchavya sadhak hai. Either you are already reached or you are not reached. You all come in your vehicles to the ashram early morning to come to this place. After this is done, you sit in your vehicle and start driving back. How long will you drive? Until you reach to your parking lot under your apartment. Once you have reached, the car is locked and then there is no more driving. If after reaching also there is somebody still sitting on the wheel, on the steering wheel, and then still going, या तो बच्चा है या तो पागल है. Either is a kid. You've seen kids do that, right? No, I am not getting off the car. I still want to be in the car. But the car is not moving. Don't move. Or it is a madcap. If you say that you have already had the experience, there is no more snakeness. In that spashta jnana, the projected asatyatva, which I have assumed to be as the satyatva buddhi, has been completely removed. Svakale satyavad bhati. In that time it appeared real. Now the entire field of experience, that which my mind experiences day in and day out, seems to continue to exist only when I start with the limitation that I am this jiva, that is the reality. Once that reality, the avarana is removed. We have made this very clear in the beginning. Our sadhana is to remove only the avarana. Vikshepa will continue to persist until videha mukti is done. We are not asking the sadhaka to do both steps. Say, half step kar lo. That is sufficient to say that you are mukta. Naham jivaha paratmeti jnataha chet. The moment that jnana happens, nirbhayaha bhavet. Nirbhayaha bhavet. There is no room or scope for any kind of aberration because the root cause has been cut aside. Why can it be cut aside? It says, ātmāvabhāsayatyeko buddhyādīnīndriyāṇyapi. Buddhyādīnīndriyāṇyapi. There is only one source of illumination, ekaha, that is the Atma Chaitanya. And that is the Chaitanya Tattva, the conscious principle. The rest of it, when we say Sharira Mana Buddhi, there might be an assumption that maybe Prana Shakti is very powerful, very subtle. Therefore, there is a further analysis that we did, Panchakosha Viveka, wherein Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya, all these layers are Jada only. Jada is inert. Swata Siddhatvam is not there in them. Swatantratva is not there in them. Meaning, those layers cannot persist to exist all by themselves. They are limited. They appear to exist only when there is a connection. If the milk is there in the pot on the stove and you have waited for several minutes for it to pongify or at least come to that point of tipping boiling point, you just turned around to get something, to fetch something. Suddenly you hear the sound, turn around, and then we quickly are rushing to find the patakkara or a cloth, finding nothing, a chunni or something, and then suddenly try to. What's the best thing that you can do? Turn it off. Done. An experienced one. Takes a handful of water, sprinkle, turn it off. न रहेगी बास, न बजेगी बांसुरी. The root cause is terminated. Because there is only one Chaitanya. Dīpaha ghaṭādivat. Dīpa, as soon as you come into this, you know which road to sit in. Is your seat available? When I say your seat, not the empty one, any empty one, my empty one. All of this analysis is possible because the light illumines. It illumines all the chairs and all the chair warmers that are sitting in the chair, meaning the individuals. There was this piano teacher who was trying to teach the child and was playing really in a very bad way, even after having taught for a week or so. Basic, simple, initial learning. He told the student, step aside. He sat down and flawlessly executed that step. And then he got up and he said, sit down. Now do you see the difference? And the student said, yes. What is the difference? The seat is warmer, sir. Now, why do I not sit in the chair where there is already an individual sitting? No, it will not be nice, it will be awkward, all of that is fine. It is because the chair, the person, the environment, everything is being illumined by that one source, the light. If there was no light, if it was like the theater, the movie has started and you have arrived in the nick of the moment after the initial credits have already gone by and you are rushing to get to your seat, you thought it was F7, but you are trying to sit in E7. Now you can imagine it from both sides. You as the one trying to occupy E7 or the one who is already in E7, somebody is going to sit on you. There is a little commotion. Why? Andhakara. Not properly illuminated. Your attention is not there. Now all of this is visible because there is one source. Similarly, do you understand this concept? Yes or no? यस बोलोगे तो फिर से क्वेश्चन पूछेगा तो पता नहीं, नो बोलोगे तो फिर गुस्सा करेगा तो पता नहीं. बेस्ट इज मौन व्याख्या प्रकटित पर ब्रह्म तत्वम. बी इन साइलेंस. The knowing is understood because something is illuminating. You responded with a smile because that understanding tickled you from within. You are seated, comfortably seated. The initial position that you sat in was not that comfortable, you realized it a little late. 35 minutes late. That all this while you have been in a frontal position, leaning towards, and I said, Why did I not sit in this position right from beginning? The discomfort was illumined. Comfort is also illumined. All these different cheshta are being illumined. There is only one illumining factor. From the subtlest to the grossest, all layers of within and all things of the without are illumined by that one Chaitanya Atma. Yatha dīpaha ghaṭādivatsvātmā jaḍaistairnāvabhāsyate. Why? Because the rest of them cannot illumine by themselves. Sometimes you have these glow in the dark, which actually find the glow once you turn the light off. Usually they use it for doing some alankara of the roof. Some stars, some moon, some sparkle. They glow in the dark. Swataha siddhaha. None of these layers have that ability of glowing in ignorance. Darkness, ignorance. They are jada. The only thing that can acquire even that buddhi which acquires this reflected consciousness, though subtle, though shiny, is still jada shiny. Jada reflection, reflecting surface. It is reflective, but it is jada. Sharira, sthula sharira, annamaya, pranamaya, manomaya, vijnanamaya, anandamaya. All of these are jada swarupaha only. Meaning, taihi na avabhāsyate. They do not have this swataha siddhatva of illumining themselves. Now catch a very important subtle Vedantic point here. If you are writing, pause. If we understand, come to this understanding that none of these layers of the Panchakosha have any ability whatsoever to illumine themselves, based on those, that which are jada, how can I claim to be something supreme? The world of competition is nothing but the identification with this jada to show how great am I. I am greater than the greatest because I have 95 Rolls Royce. Tata kim. I have an apartment, I have several apartments, I have several farmhouses, I have a big piece of farmland, I have a vacation home in several countries. Tata kim. I have a big bank balance. Tata kim. It's all external. Now come to the internal. I have a slim, muscular, athletic body. I am fat. Tatah kim, that is the nature of the body. I have a sharp mind, as good as Sherlock Holmes. As soon as he comes into an environment, he starts perceiving things that which nobody else perceives. Ekdam sharp. I have an amazing buddhi. I can chant the entire Bhagavad Gita inside out. I can rattle off the entire Upanishadic literature. There was one Mahatma, yogic Mahatma called Sangdev. He hears about Jnana Maharaj and his siblings. With his students, about 3,000, 4,000 students, he is coming to the place where Jnana Maharaj and his sister and two brothers were living. Alandi, near Pune. And people who hear that Sangdev Maharaj is coming, and he is coming riding on a tiger. That his claim was, any kind of things in this world I can control. The more I can show that control, the more greater that Mahatma that I am. When you go into Alandi, in the very entrance of that village, you find on the right hand corner, when you are going from Pune, on the right hand side, you would find a wall. It seems these four brothers, four siblings were sitting on a compound wall when they got the news that Sangdev Maharaj is coming. I said, oh, great Mahatma coming, we didn't even know. He tells the compound wall to move. Jnana Maharaj. Seeing that Jnana Maharaj has moved the compound wall and is coming on the outskirts of the city, all the Abhimana Bhanga of Sangdev Maharaj happens in that very moment. He says, Bhaiya, I thought I was the greatest powerful yogi, that I could control anything. All that I have been controlling is only animate things. Inanimate things move at your will. You definitely are a greater Mahatma. So there Jnana Maharaj says, who cares if the animate or the inanimate moves at your will or not? That is not the Mahatmya. Are you seated and rooted in your own true nature, wherein all these movements, he calls it, I don't know the Marathi word, exact Marathi word. He says, the eczema, the itch, to prove your worth by having a control. That fellow who is having the itch, is that fellow gone or not? That is where is the Mahatma. That identifying agency. Otherwise, whole life we will be like, we are just replacing one vastu with the other. Earlier we took pride in our toys. Later we took pride in our clothes, branded clothes. We were being driven through some lane here. And the person driving was telling the brahmachari, because she is from US, these are US brands here. See, the shop here is called gap, meaning less of cloth, more of gap. Branded. We are identified with it. That gets replaced with the sophistication of gadgetry. That gets replaced. Constantly we are replacing one after the other, one after the other. Then we become spiritual. Replace it with, see, doing the sadhana and developing that discipline is fine. But developing the ego along with that to throw the weight. I get up early in the morning, even before the sun rises. तो कौन बड़ा तीर मार लिया भैया? ठीक है, उठे तो उठे. I did these many yoga, pranayama, puja, japa. How long do you sit in meditation? That meditation is to dissolve the fellow who is challenging. And we are using that very process, which is supposed to eliminate all this, to promote it. Because none of these can give you that mahatmya, because none of them are mahan. They are jada. See, they have their place and time. I am not saying you should not memorize the Bhagavad Gita shlokas or Vedic chanting or the stotras or Ashtotra Shatanamavali. All these have time and place. You don't have to carry the book. Everything is uploaded. You don't have to carry another gadget to keep reminding you of all of these. It is already uploaded. It is quickly accessible. That's about it. Beyond that, its relevance is gone. To make that as a factor, to create a relevance of greatness, tata kim. So what? Walking a tup falls, something happens, all that which you had taken pride on, pichik, literally pichikified. Na vidundena adipattada ennachu? What happened? All forgotten. Even to that point sometimes wherein my own identity is also lost. All the pride that you are carrying, gone with the wind. Because these jada, that which we are claiming so much of power and prowess, kshana bhanguravat, they can topple just like that. Carrying that load instead of focusing on the very source which I have always been, never ceased to be. There was never a point that Atma Chaitanya was not. The only thing is, I have never known. I have never been. I have constantly been something other than that. Atma Chaitanya is patiently waiting. आएगा, कभी तो बुद्धि आएगा. Sometimes it will happen. Karte jao sadhana. Sadhana is to detach from all these layers, become subtle wherein that U-turn can happen, and then it is like the salt doll trying to find its source. When it enters into the ocean, what happens to the doll? सबको कहानियां मालूम है. It dissolves without leaving a trace. Sometimes there is this jello-like material. Though it dissolves, still will retain that shape. There is no such shape also. You cannot differentiate between the doll salt and the ocean salt. Gaya, finish, khatam. There is no more that shape. Is our effort constantly to be working on annihilating this carry-on shape that we are, the burden of it which we are carrying, are we trying to dissolve it? Otherwise, this is another logical class where the practical application of it, devoid of it, there is an understanding. That understanding will also remain as a burden unless we translate it into application of where am I, how do I apply it. We'll stop here and continue tomorrow. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kasyat Dukkha Bhag Bhavet, Asato Ma Sadgamaya, Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityor Ma Amritangamaya. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.